Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be talking to you guys about me and my husband's experience being first-time home buyers and buying a new construction build. I have gotten so many DMs and messages just asking about the entire process. So brace yourselves. This video is probably going to be one of the longest videos I've ever made. Got my iced coffee here to keep me alive and yeah. So I wrote out a whole bunch of notes on my phone just for guidance, because if I don't do this, I'm going to be talking in circles. And I do apologize if I start talking in circles, because there's just so much to cover and I don't feel like I can squeeze it all into this video, but I'm just going to be going over the main points, okay? So let's see here. I will start by talking about the steps that we took. And just a little disclaimer, I am no home buying specialist, okay? I am not a realtor. I don't really know much about homes at all. Before my husband and I bought this house, we knew nothing about homes, okay? Like nothing at all. So just telling you that I am no expert, and if I say something wrong, well, my bad. This is just based off of our experience. So let's get started. Okay, so step one. When you start looking for homes, you want to get pre-approved, okay? So what that means is you want to get pre-approved for a loan so that you know how much you can spend on a house. So with that, then you find a lender, right? And you pretty much put in all your information. They run your credit and everything. So based on your debt to income ratio and all these other little factors, right? It's kind of like applying for a credit card, kind of like that. They run your credit. And so they tell you, okay, so we're gonna approve you for $500,000. Even if they approve you for that much, you do not have to spend the full 500, but that's the range that you have to stay between. You can't go and buy a house that's like $500,000 and like $10,000, right? Because the loan is only allowing you $500,000 and less. So that is very important. So when you go and look for homes, you know what your budget is, what range you have to stay between. When you see these new build neighborhoods, there's like a whole bunch of signs, right? And it's like in the 300s, in the mid 400s, and it kind of shows you the price range. So then in our community, it said starting in the mid 300s. So we were thinking, okay, like, you know, Colorado's pretty expensive, so low 300s, like that's pretty reasonable, right? So we decided to look, and I just kind of fell in love with the layout of our home, and the price was, I mean, you know, affordable for us. Because all the other ones, we were like, whew, we cannot afford that. I know I said in step one, my step one is get pre-approved. Well, we actually didn't even get pre-approved because we weren't even thinking about buying. We just wanted to see. So then the sales guy, he was just like, well, you guys want to run some numbers just to see like what you guys get pre-approved for? And we were like, we actually haven't even gotten pre-approved yet. And so he kind of started laughing, because I mean, everybody that is ready to buy, they get pre-approved first. So I was just honest, and I was like, okay, like, let me just tell you, we know nothing about houses. I don't even know how to get pre-approved, but you know, we like this house and it seems like affordable. So yeah, let's just play with some numbers. So we kind of like jumped into the process without even knowing how much we could get. And after running all of the numbers, once we got the final number, right? Like we kind of chose just chose our upgrades like on the spot just for fun, kind of like plugging in what we would want to see how much, you know, the house would come out to. So once he gave us our final number, that's when we went home and then got pre-approved. So that's just a little background story. So step two, start house hunting. And honestly, if you are ready to buy a home, I would just say, just go look for fun. Even if you haven't gotten pre-approved, like kind of like what we did, just look for fun, just to kind of see what, you know, what you'd like. But then once you get your pre-approval and you're like more serious about it, then yeah, start looking at the area that you actually want to live in and the homes that's like in your price range. So I'm only going to be talking about new builds because that's the process that we did. I don't know how it works for the other homes, you know, that are already established. So my home is a semi-custom home. It's called a new construction, right? A new construction build, new build, whatever. So like there's a whole bunch of new builds everywhere, and like I said, there's like a whole bunch of signs that will show you. So our company is called Richmond American, right? So it was like Richmond American homes starting in the 300s, blah blah blah, right here. And there's like a whole bunch of balloons, and like sometimes there's like that person flipping the sign advertising that there's like new builds in this area. So We did not just randomly like look on a map and say, boom, I want my house right there and I'm gonna design this bedroom like the wall's gonna be this way. No. I do not have money for that, because that is like on a whole nother level of customizing. That's like a true 100% custom build. So that is not the route that we took. We did a new build. So like I said, find a new build community. And then when you find a new build community, the entire community is pretty much like new, right? And so they have in the front like a little office, and then you kind of just, you know, just pretty much walk through the doors and say, I'm here to just look at some houses, browse around. They usually don't bug you. And so yeah, my husband and I, we just kind of went through the doors and just started looking at the homes. So you just literally go one by one, and there's usually like 2 to 3 homes like on you know, side by side on that like little lot there. And those homes, they're advertising those homes there because you can build one of those homes in like another lot in that area, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that pretty much covers step 2. Let's see here. Yeah, once again, we did not customize this house 100%. We chose a model and we liked this layout, and then we went from there. And I'll talk more about the standard package for the house. So step 3, you sign a contract. So at this point, you have already found the model and layout that you like. So then you go in and then you start signing a whole bunch of paperwork, like tons, okay? Like you literally read this contract word for word. And then in order for you to even get this build started, that day that you sign the contract, you do have to have 1% to lock it in, saying that is your house and we're gonna start this build. Let's see here. And that is also where you go over basic upgrades, right? So you don't choose your flooring there or anything like that. And like I said, I'll talk about that later too. But yeah, you just kind of go over basic upgrades, like I want to get this and blah, blah, blah. So step 4. You get contacted by the company to set an appointment to go to what they call their design center. Now that is a long appointment, and the bigger the house, the longer the appointment. So for our 2-story house, 2,700 square foot house, right? Our appointment was 4 hours long, and we went over flooring, countertops, everything that you see in the house is what you go over, like all the little like knickknacks. And then step 5, you watch your beautiful home get built. And for us, that was like the best part, was seeing it just literally be nothing but dirt, and then just seeing it come to life. My husband and I, we went to look at our house at least once a week, just because we wanted to see the process. Like I said, it's super exciting. And also it's really good that you kind of do see them put it up step by step, so that, like, let's say, and this happens very often, like for example, if there is like one room that you didn't want, like, you know, turned into a room, you wanted to leave it like a loft, but they put walls up, then you can talk to the superintendent and be like, okay, no, like that was supposed to be a loft, and then they fix it right then and there. Because if you're not going to look at the house and like everything's already up, then it takes longer for them to like crush it and like do that, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, let's see. So originally they told us, let's see, we signed paperwork in October. Hold on, I need a drink because I'm getting thirsty, my throat's dry. Okay, so they actually told us that our house was gonna be done in June or July of 2020, right? So we signed our contract in October of last year. And so that was the time frame they were giving us, which was like between 6 to 9 months. And in Colorado, it does snow. So they kind of give you that time frame, you know, because you never know what the weather is going to be like, right? And it's so freaking crazy because our original date for the house to officially be done was, yeah, like I said, June or July. But then we went to one of our meetings and they were like, we're actually going to be done with the house like next month, which that meeting was back in February. So they told us they're going to be done in March. And we were so shocked. We were like, oh my gosh, like no way, that works out perfectly because, you know, we just have to stay in our apartment for 1 more month and then we can move out and blah, blah, blah. So it was really exciting. It's been super sunny and the weather's been like just amazing here in Colorado. So they were able to just like zoom through that house. So when you sign the contract to get the build started, it's not like tomorrow, right? You sign the contract and they're like, okay, we're gonna start building this house. No, you have to wait for, I think it's like the city to give them permission to, something about a permit. I don't know that whole jazz thing, but I don't know all about that, but pretty much they're waiting on a permit to be able to begin the building process. So it usually takes about a month. I think the longest that it can take is like 2 months, but for us, it took about, yeah, a month. And then last step, this isn't really a step, I'm just telling you guys. So once you are 45 days away from closing on your home, you get an email and they contact you saying, okay, we're 45 days away from closing and this is the day that we are gonna, you know, close on the house and you're gonna get your keys, and that is the day that you get to move in. And it's super exciting because that's when you can like really start your countdown and be like, oh my gosh, like this is real, the house is almost done. In 45 days I will be in my home. So those are pretty much the basic 5 steps that we went through, and if you have like any questions in between, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I like replying better on Instagram because it's just easier to go on there. YouTube, I don't know why, like when I reply back, it just takes longer to, you know, I don't know. Okay, just contact me through Instagram. Okay, so now I am gonna talk about all the Q&As. I already kind of did a Q&A on Instagram, but I'm just gonna go over like the basics, like the main questions that people kept asking me. So I wrote down here, each new construction build has their own lender you can use. So Richmond American, my company, my house building company, they had their own like lender. So if you use like their lender, then they offer like some incentives. So with them, and like I said, this part is still confusing to me. There's something about like, if you use their lender, we were able to get points which can buy down interest, which means like a cheaper mortgage, okay? So I was like, oh yeah, a cheaper mortgage, like for sure, like I wanna go through them. However, they said to us, you guys need to have $20,000 to be able to put down on this house. And that wasn't realistic. Like that wasn't something my husband and I could do. I was like, we don't have like the full 20 grand to just be like, here you go, you know, for the down payment. Like I need money to furnish the home too. So because of that, then we decided not to go that route. So what they recommend is that you apply for up to like 3 lenders, so you could kind of see, compare all 3 interest rates and see like what they offer you, their perks and blah blah blah. So that's a whole nother story too. I'll just tell you about what we did, the lender that we went with. So we actually went with a lending company that helped us with down payment assist. And so in Colorado, there is a loan called the CHAFA. And so that helps with first-time home buyers, like down payment assistance and all that. And I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of other programs like that all over the world, but mine was called CHAFA. And so, like I said, we didn't have 20 grand to put down. So they actually helped us put down $15,000 towards the down payment. And so all in all, we came up with 3% of 3% of the total cost of the house to close. Like that's how much we spent in total on putting down, was 3% of the home, and then they cover the rest that Richmond required us to put down. And I also wanted to touch on this part here. So if you use like a down payment assist program, something like CHAFA, anything with, yeah, putting money down or helping you with putting money down, then that does mean that you get a higher interest rate, meaning a more expensive mortgage. So obviously when you buy a house and let's say you have like 20 to 30 grand to put down, right? The more money you put into your house, the less you're gonna have to pay when it comes to the mortgage. So since we didn't put a whole lot down, then that's why we did, you know, close at a pretty high interest rate, which is 4%. But honestly, it's not that bad compared to how the interest rate has been here in Colorado. I don't know about other states, but 4% was like decent and doable for us. And so that just meant like a higher mortgage, which me and my husband, we can still afford that. So yeah. So question I have here is, what is the standard package that the home came with and what kind of upgrades did you go with? Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of like roughly go through it because it's a lot if I were to really like list every upgrade we went with. But pretty much, long story short, you get this house and then it comes with the basics like lights in the kitchen, but it does not come with bedroom lights. So that is an upgrade. Like if you just want the pre-wire, they don't put the light in there for you either. That's something else that you have to pay for. So they put the pre-wire in, which is pretty much just like a hole with like wires hanging out. So that was an upgrade. So obviously we wanted lights in the rooms, right? So then we did 3 pre-wires for all of our 3 bedrooms. And then I am a person who loves lighting. Like if I were to be in like a dark house, like it makes me feel depressed. I'm a weirdo. So I just like everything bright in my house. Sorry guys, my camera died, but I was saying that I like everything bright, and so I upgraded by adding lights into all the bedrooms. We did the main living room. It's called recessed can lights. So those aren't like the lights where it's like a pre-wire, it comes with the light, kind of like the lights in the kitchen. It's just very bright, modern white light, which is what I love. We also upgraded our stair railings, because if you don't, then it's just a standard drywall, meaning just a wall and you just walk up without rails. The major things would be like stair railings, lights, a patio. We wanted a patio in our backyard, so that was an upgrade. Also, the time that we purchased the house, they had an incentive going on, so we're gonna get a free backyard landscaping there. Standard comes with the front yard done with grass and everything and plants, but then the backyard doesn't. So, but with our incentive, the time that we bought, we were able to get the backyard done too. Oh, and then the AC unit, it's so hard like talking to you guys about the standard package, because it's different in every state. So in Colorado, I don't know if it's all of Colorado, but for these homes specifically, you can either use like their AC unit or you hire someone to put AC in your house. So I was like, I'm not gonna worry about having to, you know, find somebody to do AC. I want like my house ready when I move in. So we just went with their AC person. And then same with the garage. You can get a garage opener, the whole electric garage coming up if you want, or if you don't want to, then you're gonna have to manually just, you know, push the garage up yourself. And yeah, that's about it. But basic is just very, very basic. So some of the upgrades that we did, it wasn't even because we wanted to be all like bougie and like, oh, we need this, you know, because it's so cool. No, it was because it was like a necessity. Oh, another thing too that's really dumb is that our shower door for the master bathroom, so it's like one of those showers where it's not a tub shower, it's like a standing shower. I can't sit in there if I wanted to. And it didn't come with a standard door. So I had to pay $400 for a door for that shower, because if I didn't get a door, they would have just put a curtain rod there. A curtain rod with like shower curtains, which is so stupid because the water can easily leak out. So that was another thing that was pretty dumb. There's a lot of things that, there's pros and cons for sure, but for the most part, lots of pros, which is why we decided to, you know, move forward with the build and all that, so. And then I want to quickly touch on mortgage and all that, because that was one of my main questions. So the base price of our home was $367,000 and some change. So our house total came out to low 400s after upgrading everything and all that. And since we closed at 4%, then our monthly mortgage is in the high 2s. Let me see what else was another question that I kept getting asked. My camera is about to die, so I'm like just trying to touch on the important stuff. Okay, come on. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put down all my Q&A questions so that if I didn't touch on all of them, you guys can look at my questions on my Instagram. I'll link all the steps down below. Everything that I talked about, I'll put the main points down in my info section if, you know, I've talked too much and you kind of like lost what I was trying to say. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to just reach out. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.